welcome back to Fairy Tale, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host with the most. I've got pounds, and I can definitely boast. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Savagezweipanda. Welcome back as usual, and today I hope you guys have had a good new year, because today, especially now that we are pretty much through this year and all that, we're starting off and all that, we've already had a chapter already of Fairy Tale come out this year. It's time to talk about especially 2017 for this series. Now, especially we've seen how the first chapter of this series is going to be wrapped into this year. Let's talk about whether or not what's going to be happening throughout this entire year, and if anything, this could be the final year of Fairy Tale, or it could be so much more of all this. Could be an opening gateway and all that, or a finale to this arc. Now, especially the first kind of few things I want to talk about, especially in this video, is let's talk about the first thing that's going to be immediately that's going to be wrapping up, and that is the Urza versus Irene fight. Now, we already saw from the last chapter that that fight is pretty much on its last legs right now. I could even say it has like just one chapter left, and that is going to be the end of that finale. We've seen Irene is pretty much beaten up and all that. She's used up all her options and all that. She's pretty goddamn weak at the moment, and Urza, like, you know, after using one last armor, is probably going to beat her and all that. And one of the more longer fights and all that we've had, and that is into like one of the biggest, you know, like springers that we've been set up for quite a while now. And like after that, you kind of ask the question that is like, how much more has this arc really got to offer, since we've got August who is left and all that on the field, and you got Xerath on there, and plus as well, we still haven't really seen everything and all that between, you know, like Mavis and like, you know, what we've seen with like Key, that still needs to kind of be addressed, whether or not she's going to be approaching like her own son at some point. Do we have to even mention the whole fact that Natsu can lose control at just any moment and all that with the E&D? We still need to find more of the answers and all that to be revealed throughout all of that going on. And Xerath and Acnologia, like, we still have to conclude this giant fight that they've had to set up for them. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff to go down for, like, all these characters. And I think, especially if one thing when we talk about August, what the fact is that Jalal is already getting stomped on by, like, everyone that he's got there with him. Like, all him and the Rashomon says cannot take him at the moment. I think by a lot of us still kind of standing up there and all that. There's one character that hasn't really had that too much of a, like, a proper beating at the moment, and I think that's, if anything, that's Gildas. Gildas probably has, like, the more higher chances out of everyone and all that to take on someone of August of this caliber. I mean, he is, like, as always known as the strongest Fairy Tale member there is and all that. So definitely, I feel like this is the best chance they have on that. Now, the question is, though, what about Xerath? Is Xerath going to be concluded this year? Is, like, everything about his frigate? I don't know if Xerath personally might be finished, because this is the thing, Fairy Tale arcs go very at fast pace. Think about this as we know right now. We're at the start of this year and all that, midway through January, and we have already, like, at this point and all that, resolved the whole thing between Irene and Urza. Now, if you add that, we've got August, we've got July, like, you know, him dealing with that. You have the possibility of, like, someone like Gildas getting involved, Acnologia coming back into the fold, and Xerath. Honestly, that's not too much and all that to go in there. There may be some other things on that, but mind you, the Irene fight was surprisingly very long compared to most of the other Spriggan fights, so August may last, like, a couple of months, actually. Like, same thing with Xerath as well. I think something like a big fight like him, they may want to actually, like, extend his fight for a while. And that's the question. Acnologia hasn't even come back to the fold yet, so that's even adding into whether or not he'll be into a final arc or anything and all that. And that's the thing where, like, especially how, like, you know, a lot of the times they build up saying, oh, you know, new arc starting, or kind of like to be the final arc. I feel like if anything, Hero would have kind of been a little bit more honest with us, saying, like, you know, this is probably going to be the final arc of the series. A lot of people have kind of set up this kind of stuff, and I think right now and all that, this is the second to last, like, arc or something. I feel like, if anything, if this kind of arc ends, like, sometime halfway throughout this year, or maybe later on in the year, I can definitely see the next year, like, maybe into 2018 and all that, it could, like, actually potentially end there very early on. It just depends whether or not Hiro Mashima is pacing or not, whether or not he wants to finally go through with all of this. But then again, even with 2017, we still got the movie coming out, we've got Dragon's Cry to look forward to, we have potentially the anime coming back, we still have a ton of spin-off material to, like, adaptate and all that, which they have been doing with Season 2, not to mention they could still do some more OVAs, we never know. Fairy Tale could surprise us with a lot of things and all that, and I feel like the people that might be kind of despairing, going, no, I don't want Fairy Tale to end and all that, I think you can look forward to, like, you know, no matter what and all that, like, there's still going to be more material, and definitely, like, Hiro Mashima loves for that, and especially as well, like, he's the sort of guy we've seen with every series that he's ever done. Once he's finished with a series, he normally just gets straight back on the wagon and tries to come out with another one. He's honestly doesn't take that break and all that. Like, that's how much dedication he is to, he wants to continue writing different stories and other stuff. So, the people are going to be a little upset thinking about, you know, oh, it's not, please don't go Fairy Tale. Tale. Even while you think about it, Hero will always bring that, and think about it, I mean, Wraith and, like, also as well, Fairy Tail are connected, they're in the same universe, so hey, maybe his next work and all that might be connected and all that. So, the question is, though, guys, and all that, what do you guys think for Fairy Tail in 2017, and what exactly do you think is going to be happening? Do you think we are going to conclude this Irene fight in the next chapter? Also, as well, what do you guys think as well with the whole thing with the hand of Xerath and Actologia, Mavis? There's a bunch of characters that need to be resolved right now, and we have all of this year and all that to resolve it. And what do you think? Do you think this will potentially be the last arc, or whether or not we are going to be going into 2018, or do you think there is one more arc after this and all that? Or do you think it's just going to go on for a very long while, even after Xerath and all that? That's all up to you guys in the comment section down below. Thank you always for watching. Hit that like and that subscribe button if you love Fairy Tail as much as I do. That is all from me. I'll see you guys, though, next time.